The cheers, the cheers are real. The cheers and the tears. They are tears of fear. Tears for Fears. You remember them? You remember Tears for Fears? Their song Shout. One of the guys wrote it, and that's actually all they had for the song. They just had the chorus. Shout, shout, let it all out. That's all they had. They didn't know how to finish it off. Like I think he had it for like years, like 4, 5, 6 years. He didn't know how to sort of connect it all. And if I guess something when a song is good, it'll come together and it kind of works in the end. So, people are commenting right away. Cool Cat. Oh, hey, Cool Cat from Salisbury. Yes. Tears for Fears was great. I think they still are. I've seen them in concert on YouTube, and they sound good. They still got the voice, right? They still got they got the voice. I mean, there's some bands that are, sometimes it's hard to see these bands when we were kids. And you look at them now, you go, oh my God, some of them are just in terrible shape. Like, holy cow, what happened? What happened? I mean, these rock stars, there's things called gyms. And of course, being a former musician myself, and of course, just the physics associated with wind hitting the vocal cords, you would think that some of these guys and gals would get into the gym and kind of, they would work out a little bit. They would look. Chuck Norris. I spoke to Chuck Norris today. I said, Chuck, because today is Wednesday. How tough is Chuck Day? And I said, Chuck, it is January 14th. I'd like to do 14. I want to do 14. How tough is Chuck today? He goes, that's all I heard. I heard nothing but do it. Do it. And that's all I heard. So I can do, normally we do 12. And I said, Chuck, can I do 14? Hey, Zara, I need to go to the gym so bad. Do you know what? So anyway, Chuck said, do it. So I got 14 of how tough Chuck is, not 12. I got a pinched nerve right in my right shoulder. I used to get it all the time with kickboxing because, because there's all these nerves that go into your back and in through your ribs. And it's, yeah, and you got to Chuck Norris, yes, tell me how is your twin brother Chuck? My twin bro Chuck is doing okay. I got 30 years on him. He kicked my ass. My wrists have been so sore. I got right, yeah. So, some of the best things to do, it's basic, right? These things, most of the injuries that we get, and especially in boxing and kickboxing, the fist and the grip is everything, right? So if you're working on with weights, you really want to get those forearms, right? Those forearm exercises. No one ever does it. Forearms and the neck. The gym I go to Gold's Gym. And when I started going to Gold's Gym, I said, hey, psst. The owner's son. I said, psst, I won't say his name. I said, where's your neck machine? He goes, neck machine? You know what? Your Gold's Gym, you have an entire muscle category called the neck. You never go into the ring. Yes, Czar. And there's you actually put some light weights and then you roll your wrists and then backwards like this. Do not use heavy weights. So easy to hurt all of those little tendons, all those little ligaments. Use light weights and start slow because you could hurt yourself more. You could hurt yourself more than you help yourself. Start really slow with those wrists and those forearms. Once you have strong forearms and strong wrists, ask any tennis player. Tennis players have brutally strong grips and brutally strong forearms. They do. And I keep these by my But every day, I just keep them. I just, I get in there and I work them. I pwn it. Boom, 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 boom. And it's so easy to do, right? I mean, and these things are like $10, $10. I can't see you on my chat. I don't know why. Maybe Zara might be on because there's two different streams. There's the mobile stream and then there's the vertical stream, long form. So there's two different. I wonder if that's what it is, because I've heard some people mention that. Yeah, because there's two different streams. There's the one, and actually the long form one is better, even on mobile, because you get the full screen. It's because the mobile broadcast is ridiculous, like it is. It's kind of, you get the little screen. I don't know why they do it. Beautiful. We'll do it for yes. And ultimately you got to get to the gym, right? That's the important thing. So I couldn't get to the gym. I've had this 2 or 3 days and I stayed out of the gym. I know, because when you get these pinched nerves, like, just stay off of it. Otherwise you can turn them into hell world. And now I hate skipping the gym. I feel like crap. Garbage, but I feel it feels good. I don't feel it today, so I might go into the gym tomorrow. I'm a 3 a.m. guy, but that's cool cat. Oh yeah, I found the vertical. Okay, the vertical and the horizontal. But the long form. Well, the long form gives you a better. The vertical gives you a small one, and then gives you actually much better. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Guys, I got a new video out I put out today. And I know there's there's so many Star Trek fans. I do a lot of videos on Star Trek because I love the concepts of warp drives, right? Of the idea of traveling through. This microphone's pretty close to me. What are you trying to do? I know Chuck Norris. Warp drives are, when it comes to a lot of these hardcore Star Wars fans, and I don't know if I'm a Star Trek, sorry, but warp drives, right? The technology of warp drive, bending space-time behind and then, in front so that you create the wave, go forward. What no one ever talks about is the testing phase. The testing phase. Imagine using ungodly amounts of energy to try and warp space-time. The only place that we know where space-time is warped is a black hole. And we don't want to mess with those mofos, right? We don't need, I'm not going one-on-one with a black hole. I don't need that kind of stress. I'll call Chuck Norris. There's probably a black hole. How tough is Chuck Norris out there? One. So the new video, please go and give it a watch, give it a like. It helps, especially in the beginning. It really helps a lot, because when I changed the name of the channel, basically YouTube demoted my channel to a brand new channel. And so some of my best videos I've ever made, I've been just abused by YouTube. So it almost feels like starting from the beginning. It almost does. But if it explores the testing phase, and I did a lot of research into this, some of the things that might happen, it's theoretical in the sense that it's socioeconomic. When you start messing around with, we don't even know if we can bend space-time. I mean, let's be honest. There's two different, basically they're the same, right? An abundance of energy or abundance of mass warps space-time, right? The more mass you have, the more energy you get in one single place, you can warp space-time. We need negative energy. We're not even sure if negative energy exists. So that's the video. And I got some pretty cool, I'm using a lot more chirons. I'm using a lot more, some of the AI stuff's pretty cool. It's not good with space. It's not good with space stuff, but because AI does not know how to handle a vacuum. So when you give it commands, it says, okay, it knows what happens within our atmosphere. And that's kind of how it does it. Some of the AI models are pretty good at it. There's two or three that are pretty good at the physics of it, because understanding how physics works in space is different than in our atmosphere, which is why we die in seconds. Up there. Up there. You can just go a few miles, just a few miles up there. You can go a few miles that way, you go a few miles that way, you're good. You're good. You go a few miles that way, you're dead. Okay? You're dead. Death. Okay, I'm not gonna. I was gonna do the, I was gonna do. I think something in YouTube would trigger. YouTube, the algorithm now watches every second of every minute, analyzing what goes on in your video. Every second of every minute is analyzed. So I would like to show the YouTube algorithm that I have myself a full glass of wine tonight because I'm doing Chuck Norris stuff. I have a full glass. What is considered a full? Yes, it's a full cardboard cup. Screw you if you don't like it. I like it. I'm a simple man. Cheers to everybody. I hope you are having a beverage of your choice. It could be water, tea, wine, cranberry vodka. I think a doggy likes cranberry vodka. I think that was it's the only other one I know. That's all I know. We're doing. I'm gonna today. I think we're gonna have time to do the top 10 scientists in history. This is my list. I kind of chose this list. You might think it different. Top 10 scientists in the history of humankind. Who might they be? I don't know. We can find out. Cool Cat. Cool Worlds has a video on the technical problems involved in warp drive technology, the Alcubierre. Yeah, the Alcubierre drive. Look, when he first did his math, the amount of energy that he required was ungodly. Like at first, I think it was like the size of the entire known universe. Then it kind of got down to like a few stars. Then it got down to the sun. Now it's down to the mass of Jupiter, I think, the Alcubierre drive. I think it's called 6 Problems with Warp Drive. I'm sorry, I promise I don't work for David. It doesn't matter. It's all good. I don't care. I mean, I'll talk about any other channel on my channel. I mean, I have no cheers to your health. Yeah. I just finished off with a little chilled sugar-free coffee in Salisbury, England. Ah, yeah. You know what? One of my favorite YouTubers is from Leeds. It could be he's top three. Alfred Noble. Oh, that's a good name. Beard Meets Food. Do you know Beard Meets Food? Newton. Yeah. Richard Feynman. Well, yeah. There's a lot of names you could kind of throw into the hat. There's a lot. I mean, and it's subjective, 100% subjective. Who these scientists are? Who are you scientists? NASA wants to put a nuclear reactor on Mars. Did you guys hear that? Nuclear reactor on Mars. When you consider the equivalent mass converted to energy in both atomic weapons used on Japan was the weight of 2 dimes. It wasn't very big. Oh, do you watch Beard Meets Food? I freaking love him. I would love to go to England. He had that little Christmas special this year, and he went to some little I think it was in Leeds. And he went and he said he's going to try one from every. I couldn't eat what he eats. Oh my God! Oh, shit. There is a guy. He's a Canadian guy, Joel Hansen. This guy eats so much food. I watched one of his videos today. He had this plate from a Texas barbecue, Joel Hansen, Canadian dude. He just got over palsy. He had half of his face went paralyzed. He just got over it. But this guy eats. He doesn't even stop. He's got a rack of beef ribs alone. Usually you get 4 or 5 to an order. He had 8. Then he had the brisket. Then he had short ribs. Then he had another short ribs. He had chicken wings. Oh my God. Joel Hansen. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, his name's Adam. Yeah, Adam. Adam. He always comes to the States. He goes, what's your name? Adam. I'm sorry, what? Adam. He always does that. Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. We're going to do, I did a video on human engineering, DNA. And now it's not something I particularly believe in. Actually, it's not something I believe in, but we can engineer human DNA. We don't. Now, what they're doing in China, we don't know. They're probably fucking around with human DNA left, right, and center. They're probably combining human DNA with like chickens and like, you know, hippos, and they're turning like man hippos, human hippos, like all these, like they probably are. Oh, yes. Oh God, yeah. Nah, no, it's all good. Cool cat, talk away. There's no rules. Spamming is like when you're talk shit, right? When you're talking crap. If you're making good comments, throw them down, dude. That's half the fun, you know? Zara, no, I know. Zara. How you been, Zara? Hey, how's your ring? You were talking about that ring you had. You got a new ring. How's that ring? DNA manipulation needs to be outlawed. We'll tell China that. Tell China. Needs. You don't need to correct yourself. CRISPR is amazing. I haven't seen CRISPR. I watched a Randy Santel video today. I do like the eating one. Sometimes I think maybe I should do an eating channel. Sometimes I think I should just eat right here. I'll get some McDonald's and I'll eat. Make you mothers mofos so hungry that right after the stream you go to McDonald's and you go You're wearing it on your wedding finger. That's right. You said you put it on your wedding finger. How is it? Looks good. That's right. I remember last week you mentioned. I was like, I gotta say, yeah, it had like a snake or a head or something like that. But I mean, that's Trez cool. That's Trez cool. It's Superfly. That's all. I mean, there's nothing left to be said. It is Superfly. Chuck Norris. Do we it's a gold snake ring, but it's dainty. It looks really good. It has little green eye gems. Right. That's what, yeah, remember you said that. Yeah. I try to remember these things. I like, it seemed important to you because you mentioned it. So because you mention it, it's kind of like, okay, mental note to self, note to brain, check. Now, if it was Chuck Norris or one of the top 10 scientists in history, would they remember? I don't know. Well, I mean, I like to pay attention because I like people. I mean, I do. I like people. I mean, there's no better, the biggest, I think so many people get this wrong in life. This is like my biggest life rule. Never make fun of someone's name. Ever. And it doesn't matter what their name is. Don't give them a nickname, because if you give them a nickname they don't like, every time you show up, they are loathing to see you. And you do that to everybody. Everyone just hates to see you. Stop if you're sarcastic, people don't want you around. They don't. It's okay to be sarcastic, but then you got to throw a joke back on yourself and put yourself down even more. That's kind of the rule. If you're going to be a dick, you got to be a dick back on yourself a little bit more. But never, ever make fun of someone's name. There's nothing we take more personal in our lives than the name that we are given. And when someone makes fun of it or gives us a stupid nickname, we don't want to see that person. I lived that rule since the day I think my dad told me that rule. I mean, sarcasm is okay. Tempered, right? It's tempered. But I always say, if I make a joke about someone, I go, oh yeah, blah, 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 and I laugh at them. I say, but don't worry, because when I do it, I'm probably twice as bad, okay? Like, so don't, like, that's the shit you gotta do instead of just poking fun at people, right? I mean, I think that's the stuff. That's what you kind of want to do. You have to do. I've always done that. I've always been good with people, and I will not berate people, make fun of them. There's nothing. Look, we need to laugh at ourselves in moderation. We just can't, pick one person and just, if one person is being picked on at a table and I'm out with them, I'll happily take their side. I'll happily take their side, unless it's warranted, right? Unless it's really warranted. Cheers. Can I say happy 2026? Am I still allowed to say that? I don't know. I don't know. No one told me. Did I do all the, what did I do? New video. Boy, you know what? A lot of the regulars I found, Zara, they come after like 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Is it because between 4 and 5, people are driving home? Are people like driving home in the car? When they get home and then they I know like later Eastern people are they're later people, right? I mean, the stock market opens up at 9:30 and they call that early, right? People in New York call 9:30 early. I live in England. We haven't been able to joke for some time. I know, right? You go to jail. You want a joke? Yeah. Make a joke and you'll go to jail, cool cat. Out of here. You got no right to make a joke about anybody. 10 years. It's like Kim Jong-un rules. Most people in my area work until 3 p.m. But you're on the East Coast, aren't you? But you're in Florida? 3 p.m. That's 3 p.m. What? 3 p.m.? It's noon on the West Coast. What, 8 hours a day? Who works 8 hours a day? All I know is 16-hour days. That's all I know. That's all I've ever known. I've been in business with myself my whole life. That's all I know. I love handcuffs, though. Well, that's another story. Who doesn't? Is there someone that doesn't? Was that science? I don't know. 8 hours. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So one thing that's kind of cool today, did you guys hear there were the astronauts were saved. The astronauts were saved in space. Did they even, I've been watching this news sporadically. I hope so. I don't think she's a police officer, cool cat. I don't think she is. Yeah, I mean that is that we do have do we have? Oh yeah, see, I can make it bigger, but sorry. That's any good live stream will mention handcuffs once, at least once. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. Yeah, food. I hope Zara. Hope you are. Oh, geez. So the 11th. So when you hear like so these people from space, I've heard. Like, so I've watched. Let me pull this up here. Let's just go. These look. People were the medical emergency. I don't even know what the freaking medical emergency is. I don't even know. Did they even mention? Have they said what it is? Have they? What is the medical emergency? What's so important? Okay, I got this thing really big. That's okay. That's okay. We'll keep it big. We'll keep it big. Why? There's only 3 people left on the space station, and there's never that many. Crew 11 astronauts undock in first ever medical evacuation from the International Space Station. This is space.com. Excuse me as I hiccup. 4 astronauts aboard the International Space Station are returning to Earth today. Today is January 14th. If you're watching this on January 15th, just to let you know, this happened yesterday. Okay? This did happen yesterday. More than a month earlier than originally planned, NASA made a decision to cut SpaceX's Crew 11 mission short due to an undisclosed. Medical concern with one of the astronauts, meaning it's a private matter, right? So what happens? What happens if they get a cavity up on the space station? You know, when you get a cavity, I've had them like 2 or 3 times in my life, and the excruciating, and it always happens on a late Friday, right? Always a late Friday, the pain starts. It's never a Monday. It's always late Friday. The pain starts, and you're like, holy shit. And is it a cavity? It's abscess tooth? I don't know. Is it something personal? Is it the crew was scheduled to spend a 6-month stint on the International Space Station and returned in late February. But now they're on their way home. I think they're probably home by now. Crew 11's Crew Dragon capsule named Endeavour. There was a space shuttle named Endeavour. Undocked at 5:20 p.m. Eastern Time, which is now in the past. They've arrived. The Crew 11 astronauts now face a roughly 11-hour deorbit trajectory with an expected splashdown. Oh, wait. Yeah, 3. Oh, no. Sorry. They left. Yeah, my apologies. They undocked the space station at 5:20 Eastern as an expected splashdown on Thursday, January 15th at 3:41 a.m. Eastern, which is, what is that? About 7 hours from now. About 7 hours? 7 hours. Off the coast of California. Well, they should be using Pacific time then. Or Salisbury, England time. I don't care. I don't care what time you use. Can someone call Beard Meats Food and have him send some food over and we can eat it together? As well as a post-landing press conference scheduled for Thursday at 5:45 a.m. on NASA Plus, Amazon Prime, and the agency's YouTube channel, as well as here on space.com and on Dimension Zero. They forgot to mention that. Probably not. We probably won't carry it live. But there it is. It's de-docking. Docking. De-docking? I don't know which one that is. I don't know. I don't know. Cool cat. You know, I used to be pretty good at my English accent. Literally, I went to Scottish. Jeez. NASA mission manager's poll go on Tuesday to proceed with Crew 11's undocking, saying in a statement, weather is looking good. Is excellent. Okay, the weather is excellent. Not really news. Okay, not a big deal. See, that's like fillers. When you're as an English major and having done a lot of writing, that's called filler. It's not really news. You don't really want to read it out loud. And it's the problem you have with all these news stories. How much do you read? At what point in time is it just like, you know, one of the crew members is really hoping to get back soon. They've been talking about it for a very long time with crew control or mission control because she's really missing her cat and she wants to get down as soon as possible. Not really news. It's not news. It's not news. With his departure, leaves behind a skeleton crew of, okay, this is news, leaves a skeleton crew of 3 aboard the ISS, Kud Sverchov, and fellow cosmonaut Sergei Mikhailov, as well as NASA astronaut Chris Williams. It's 1 versus 2. It's one Westerner versus 2 Russians. Crew 12 is currently scheduled to launch no earlier than February 15th. So those 3 will have about a month, right? They'll have about a month to hang out and do what they want to, need to, whatever they have to. So that is the that's the space. There is some other. So if you guys been watching Silver, going through the roof. So I mean, honestly, Trump constantly causes financial. He must be long silver. Like seriously, Trump must have bought silver. Because like with the whole latest thing with, you know, the whole criminal thing, which has been referred to the DOJ with Chairman Powell. Look, the whole frickin' Federal Reserve, also the Bank of England, all these Federal Reserve banks, which is they're private companies, right? They're private companies. They have nothing to do with the United States government or the UK government. They are private companies. The FBI is not even allowed to go on Federal Reserve property. Think about that. Okay, I'm dead. Oh, fuck, I'm dead. You don't even say that on like. I'm sure someone just marked, yeah, Danny Alex mentioned Federal Reserve private corporation. Jekyll Island. President Woodrow Wilson. Jekyll Island. You guys, you Google it. I'm not going to Google it. Maybe that's where Trump is going, right? I mean, Rand Paul's father, what was his name? Rand Paul's dad. That was his, and he's true. And there's no reason why inflation should be the norm. I was an economic analyst. I worked on Wall Street. I was a market maker on NYSE and NASDAQ. Many years I did that. Oh, I remember back when I used to walk with the snow uphill all the way there and all the way back, it was uphill. Breaking the laws of physics. Where do you get the most deflation? Technology. Utter deflation, right? Of course, because things become obsolete. Now, you could argue that, well, carrots don't become obsolete. But no, the process of getting carrots out of the ground and growing carrots becomes more efficient every year. Yields become more efficient. Everything. So I ain't scared to know ghosts. Yeah, you could have doubled your money. Actually, I was just talking to someone. They asked me about it, and there was just under $60, and they asked me about it. I said, I wouldn't buy it. What year was it? It went from $7 to $38, then back down to $13, and it settled around $18. So basically, it took a 50% haircut. It went up 500%. And then took a haircut, and then it sort of settled it. So this is probably going to do the same thing. But there's no way you want to be buying it on this spike. I am, everything reverts back to its mean. I don't know if you're a math guy, Cool Cat, or Zara. If you got either, everything reverts back to the mean. Everything. Everything reverts back to the mean, right? When it comes to average. Oh, you were that is adorable. Bye, 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 bye. That, yeah. Joking. I have no clue what we're talking about. Silver, the commodity, silver. It just keeps going up, 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 up. I wonder if I could pull. I mean, I could pull a chart. Let me pull up a chart. Let's pull up a chart. So I did this for many a years. Many a years. How do I, you know what? It might be better. Nah. That's a good chart. Okay, let me share this tab. Let's get into this. This was my prior life. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. Okay, maybe I can't. So, or can I? There I can. Right there. So there you see. Now, if you take a look back, May 26th, 2025. It was at $33.31. We basically have a triple in 7 months. It's a triple in 7 months. I haven't watched the news since 2017. Oh, that's hilarious, Sarah. That is freaking hilarious. So, look at this last spike. Just in the last few days, it has gone from 75 to 92. Even before that, 71. Even just on December 16th, it was 66. Let's go back just before U.S. Thanksgiving. November 21st, it was $49. It has doubled. A commodity. Commodities, I used to be a futures and options specialist as well. Commodities don't do this. You know what's happening? There is a lot of big money that has shorted silver that is getting its ass handed to it. Now, what happens with these things on every spike? So here's a spike. So this is what I was talking about. $7. And then the thing goes to $38.62. And then drops to $14.50. $13.91. And then it just stays there for 8 years. No one made their money back on the spike. Now, you can't look at that spike because that big spike just now makes this smaller spike look small. But if you take a look at where the spike started from, which was a low of $11.45. It went to $38, a triple. So if you think same thing, if it's going to be a triple, you're going to be looking at about $100. I mean, this thing might shoot past 100, but oh my God, there's a lot of people losing money and there's a lot of people making money. That is true. That is true. I haven't watched the news since 2007. Oh, with that. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, holy crap. This is serious stuff. I haven't watched it in so long. It honestly feels like the news doesn't even exist anymore. So it's really surreal to me when I hear people speak about it almost like I'm watching science fiction. That's an interesting, you know what? And I think there's a lot more people. There's a lot more people that are sort of basically in that mind frame. Because, I mean, let's face it, the bullshit, Cool Cat's from Salisbury, England. What's going on in England is beyond comprehensible. Like it is with regards to what you can say and cannot say in England. When you take a look at the absolute shit show that is the United States. I mean, I get it. People are tuning out. People want to go off grid. People don't want to have anything to do Oh, the first spike was the Great Recession, right? So people will go to what's called safety, right? So if you take a look at, with the 39 trillion dollar debt now, gold, but look, silver has always done this, has gone under control. Oh geez, 100,000%. That's a lot. Have disconnected from the news and what I've observed. But what I've observed from others is probably one of the best choices I've ever made. It's not a bad choice. Look, people want to go off grid. I speak to people that they want to literally close everything up. They want to move into a cabin in the woods. Literally just move to a cabin in the woods beside a creek. Just put a little bit of electrical power into my cabin. And there's something to that. I was watching the video on Hobbiton, like the real Hobbiton, right? Because they haven't torn it down. It's actually in New Zealand. It's for a tour. It's a tourist site in Hobbiton. But I'll tell you what, when you take a look at how these hobbits lived, right? In Hobbiton, it's not a bad life. Yeah, they're chopping wood. They're out, but they got these nice little hobbit holes. They're having tea. They're cooking food. They're growing stuff. There's something magical about it. Something I really just, I watch the video of Hobbiton and all of a sudden I get relaxed. So I get it. Totally get it. I mean that whole, I believe you. Zara, I totally believe you. Being off grid, leaving the grid, it's terrifying what's happening in the UK. Of course, it's fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely. But that is, look, the left has always been associated with the left, right? I was born in Brno, Czechoslovakia. That's where I was born. We defected in 1968. We hit the shores of Canada as refugees. A lot of people say, you can't be a refugee. You don't have the right skin color. Fuck you. Fuck you. We hit the shores of Canada. My parents didn't speak. My dad had 2 degrees, mechanical engineer as well as computer science. He had to work as a janitor for 9 years because he had to learn English and get his equivalency. Same with my mom. She was a draftsperson. 9 years they worked as janitors. University educated people. So when I hear what's going on in England, what do you do? Look, the left is responsible for death. You want to talk historical science? Who's the biggest murderer in the history of the world? The left-wing communist zealot Mao in China. Mao. China. Mao is estimated to kill about 100 million people directly and indirectly. 100 million people. Stalin, as a percentage, Pol Pot killed 25% of Cambodia. I mean, Castro, these people, the left, it's always for the people, right? All these movements are for the people. For the people, motherfuckers, for the people. Yeah, if you don't fall in line, we'll fucking kill you. And we'll kill you by the thousands, by the hundreds of thousands. And if need be, we'll kill you by the millions. Just to set the survivors straight. Lenin. How many people did Lenin kill? Kill them and we'll ask questions later. Stalin was basically look. Cool cat. You know what Nazi stands for, right? Nazi. What does Nazi stand for? National Socialism. He nationalized industry. Hitler was a freaking communist, and let no one tell you anything different. Hitler was a communist. Now, because I just mentioned Hitler, this live stream will probably be buried. Probably, I guess. Look, it's just the truth. I speak the truth. I'm the bearer of truth. Zara, yes, I would not. A lot of times I think that maybe I might be happier living at Hobbiton. It's not about me. I have zero control over it, therefore I don't give it attention or energy. Well, then that's a good point. If you can't control something, don't give it attention because nothing you can do, right? Synchronicity, absolutely. Yeah. I have a lot of Chinese friends. I've done business in China. I've done business in China for many years. And even when they came to visit me in Los Angeles, because I was in Los Angeles for 20 years, they wouldn't talk about Xi. I would start there. They come and I'd be talking about Xi. It's like, oh, finally, you're free. You're free. You're free from Xi Jinping. They were still scared to talk about Xi Jinping because they thought maybe the phone or something, maybe I'm like a plant. Maybe Xi Jinping pays me to like watch these Chinese people in Los Angeles. They don't know because the last thing, you don't say anything about Xi Jinping, right? That is left-wing communism. They say it's for the people, but that's the bullshit. Look, you could argue. Look, I could argue a lot of things on the Republican side as well. A lot of things. Do you hate Germany because of Hitler? I am half German. When the bell rang, there was like tolls that Hitler was dead. The German people came out and celebrated. The German people hated Hitler. You know what Hitler used to get rid of his enemies? The guillotine. It was the fastest way to kill people and get to the next people. Hitler actually used, the German people hated Hitler. A lot of information they don't give out there. German people celebrated. They danced in the streets when that SOB died. Hitler's an SOB. He's one of like the major SOBs, the top 20 SOBs ever in history. The German people celebrated. Do you hate America because of... Yeah. I probably have Italian in me, young lady. Because I was born in Brno, Czech Republic. I'm basically a first generation European, right? Basically, even though I remember nothing, I spent half my adult life in America, half my adult life in Canada. You have a lot of Italian, and I should hate Italy because of the Roman government enslaving people, making them fight to the death for their entertainment so I can be a hypocrite. Look, that was Rome. Have you seen the movie Gladiator? That's a good fucking movie, man. Well, why do I still have I still got it was a good movie, right? Oh, I should have, I should have did this. There we go. Italy is no. It's like, look, slavery back then was everywhere. Most of the slaves in Rome, 99% had skin color that was not darker. It was lighter. Oh my, yes. What? Don't stop the smoking. Yeah. I spent. Oh, Germany. I would love to go to Germany. Yeah, spent time in Germany. It was great. Oh, here comes this guy again. This guy always pops up. He always pops up. Jeshua is Q. Jeshua is the creator. Jeshua is here. We love you, dear Jeshua. Look, man, that ain't gonna get you into heaven. Posting. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I will drink. Look. Don't be. This glass of red wine before we started the stream was actually water. I turned water this cup of water into red wine. You see that, right? That is now red wine. An hour ago, it was nothing but water. You don't believe me? It's true. I believe everything that someone wrote 2,000 years ago. Oh shit, that was a bit of a kick right in the schnazzers. I'm not a religious guy. What someone believes, I don't care. I'm not religious. I'm not. I'm a science guy. 2 + 2 = 4. That's leftists levy the charge of Nazi on anyone they disagree. Yeah, exactly. Disagree with, and it's hilarious. Nazi stands for National Socialism. National Socialism. Hitler socialized all major industries. He's a freaking communist. Hitler was a fucking left-wing communist. Mofos. I think, Cool Cat, you know that. They had no idea what they're saying. National Socialism, worker by exactly. Written in German spells Nazi. Nazi. Socialism. Communist. Hitler was a fucking communist. He was a communist. Him, Stalin, Castro, Mao. All of them. Red, red wine. We should, because we gotta, we gotta do Chuck. We're gonna do Chuck. Can we do Chuck Norris? Yeah, science is what we should enjoy tonight. Politics makes me cry. I understand, yeah. We're gonna do Chuck Norris. It's as much science as anything else. Chuck Norris Wednesdays. Every Wednesday is Chuck Norris Wednesday. So, let's do this. Are you ready? I'm going to stop screen. I'm going to enter, share screen. No. I need, slides. Yeah. Untitled presence, Google Slides off of my computer. Upload file. Thank you very much. Okay, where is this? Oh my God, this should not be this. There it is. Chuck. Uploading. I should have had this ready beforehand. Yep. Good old Chuck. Where's all the regulars tonight? Where is everybody? They're really strange. Where'd everyone go? Is there something? Oh, wait a sec. Oh, geez. Okay, I did it again. That was my fault. So we need to hit there. Oh, geez. It's my fault. Hit there. There we go. Okay. So, okay. Oh, whoa. Okay. Is that big? Yeah, I can read that, right? I don't have to use the main. Yeah, I just do main screen. There we go. So let's start. Chuck Norris. How tough is Chuck Norris, you're asking? I'm going to tell you how tough this mofo. I have met Chuck Norris twice in my life as a former kickboxer myself. I have not gotten to the ring with Chuck Norris. He wouldn't dare get in the ring with me. Just kidding. We're going to see why no one gets into the ring with Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, myth, man, and unstoppable force. The only man who allows the wild to survive. Legendary feats, slams revolving doors with ease, counts to infinity twice, transcendent martial arts career, absolute unstoppable power. The universe does not have laws of physics, only a list of things Chuck Norris allows to happen. My friends, this is only the starter. Page 1. When police officers approach Chuck Norris, they say, "We do have the right to remain silent." That's what they say. Chuck Norris, number 2. Chuck Norris is the only person on the planet that can kick you in the back of the face. I mean, you think about that. Chuck Norris is the only person that can literally kick you in the back of the face. If it looks like chicken, tastes like chicken, and feels like chicken, but Chuck Norris says it's beef, then it's beef, motherfucker. Where's the beef? When Chuck Norris, sorry, when I start reading, I remember what they are. When Chuck Norris looks in the mirror shatters because not even glass is dumb enough to get in between Chuck Norris and Chuck Norris. A smattering of applause on that one, just a smattering. When Thanos snapped his fingers, ladies and gentlemen, he disappeared. Why? Chuck Norris doesn't like snapping. I mean, that's what his... It was one of those things that was left out of Endgame. It's true. What am I lying? You think I'm lying? Ladies and gentlemen, the only reason Chuck Norris has never won an Academy Award, have you ever asked yourself? It's because Chuck Norris isn't acting. When he's beating people up on your, Texas Walker Ranger, he's not acting. It's real. He's beating people up. He's kicking them in the back of the face. Number 7, although unverified, the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot have both claimed to have seen Chuck Norris. I look at the pictures, right? I mean, just look at the pictures like that. I mean, look at these. See Bigfoot off to the right. You see the Loch Ness Monster. Classic. Chuck Norris once split a boulder in half with one hand. We all know it now and refer to it as the Grand Canyon. It's true. Number 9. Chuck Norris was once pulled over for speeding, but luckily for the cop, Chuck let him off with a warning. How do you not laugh at that? It is being suggested that Jesus could walk on water. We've all known that, right? 2,000 years, it was written down 2,000 years ago. But what is fact? That Chuck Norris can swim through land. Thank you. Thank you. Chuck Norris can swim through land. Number 11, it is well known that Chuck Norris built sandcastles as a child. Today they are called the Great Pyramids of Egypt. It's a fact. It's science. Oh wait. Look at the picture. Look at little Chuck. Look, he's got that right. Because every time you draw a baby or a little kid, you just make the head bigger, right? That's basically what makes someone look like a child. So they just got Chuck's body. They just made his head bigger. This is Google Slides, right? This is Google Slides. So Google Slides just made the head bigger. He's playing in the sand. He's building sand castles. Oh, Zara, Bigfoot found you? Shit. Call Chuck. Call Chuck. So we got 2 extra ones. It's January 14th. We usually do 12. We're doing 14. There are only two hands in poker that can beat a royal flush: Chuck Norris's left hand and his right hand. And you can see on the image, someone who looks to appear, he only has 4 cards. But you got Chuck's left hand and his right hand. So you tell me if you want to push that argument. Probably not. And the last one on January 14th. 14. Chuck Norris memes, why he is so tough. The last one. The Tooth Fairy. When the Tooth Fairy comes to your house, she takes your tooth and gives you money. When Chuck Norris comes to your house, he breaks... Look at the kick. He breaks your tooth and takes your money. That is Chuck Norris Wednesdays. Right there. Look at that, guys. I mean, like when I'm putting these things together, right? And so I put the slide together, and you create the slide, and the slides come up because Google does the slides. You know, you just want to put good descriptive words in there that sort of, you know, it gives Google Slides the ability to create these, you know, good images. And when I saw this one pop up, you look at the guy, Chuck Norris. He's coming through the door, doing like a front snap kick, breaks the tooth. There's money. So he broke the tooth. He's taking the money. And there's a little angel, little fairy godtooth mother. That's not Chuck's way. It just isn't the way of Chuck Norris. It's just not. That is not the way. That's not the way of the Norris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh boy. Yeah, that's I mean, those are always fun. I always enjoy doing Chuck stuff. Chuck stuff is always fun. It's fun. Fun. There's not really. You know, I've been watching on. I don't know if you guys get it in England. The Mythbusters. I've been watching some old Mythbuster videos. They're fun. I used to love. And again, apparently Jamie and Adam, the two guys on the Mythbusters, they don't get along. Like they don't. They're not friends. Like they don't go out for drinks. They don't. Call each other up. They don't really like each other. They tolerated each other on the show. I know, right, Zara? It's a freaking awesome show. Even the trio. What's his name? The guy that passed away in 2020. Grant Imahara. But even those three guys, the girl, I forgot all their names. Look, he always goes stupid when you go live on. They were, yeah, it was a great show. I do like watching. Because it seems so genuine, and you wanted to believe that these guys were actually good friends. They weren't. They really don't like each other. Jamie Heineman, he's a professor at the University of Finland now. He's in Finland. He's a Viking. He's a Viking. He wanted to turn Viking. So that's what he is. He's a Viking. And of course, Adam Savage, he's all over. I mean, he's doing all the YouTube stuff. He's getting millions of views. So, but interesting, the three people didn't really converse much with the two other ones. Like they knew each other, but it was always very separate. I always thought they were. You watch the show and you kind of think that they were a close knit crew, but they weren't. The three were Grant, the gal. I always thought the gal was kind of sexy. I don't know. Science, smart. That smart girls like that. They get their hands dirty and stuff. Sexy. I find it sexy. It's kind of sexy. It's true. It's very true. So I'm going. So I'm going to play this video. This video that I did. I'm playing it mostly because I want people to see the kind of AI stuff that I've been doing and what is possible with AI. It's kind of, excuse me. It's kind of amazing what can be done with AI. And like anything else, AI, you need to do, just like actors, you need to do many takes. And if you're a director, as a screenwriter and spending many years in Hollywood, you basically direct the actors as a director, right? You tell you're watching, the cinematographer's doing the lights and the cameras. As a director, you're like the conductor, right? La 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 la. And you tell the actors kind of what you want from the scene, and maybe they're not bringing it out, so you go and you tell them, "Look, don't go there. Look this way. Walk that back. Walk over to here first, and then say it. Pause for a second, and then what I'm saying. Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying." And it's the same thing with AI. There's no difference. And the new AI models are crazy. They are getting so good. More than anything, less so about the idea of human engineering and DNA. The idea of AI, and even the video that I released today on Star Trek and the warp drives, the fact that warp drives may become the end of the human civilization if we dare try to put that much energy towards developing it. There's some interesting AI stuff that I did there. It was harder because AI is not good in space. AI is really bad with space because they're not good. It's not good with vacuums. AI understands our atmosphere, but it doesn't understand the vacuum of space. So basically how an explosion might work within our atmosphere, it does the same thing in space. It looks really stupid. It looked really stupid. So I had to do some things. So if you watch the Star Trek video, I added some like shaking and vibrating, and I cut things up, putting like little effects to connect things that made it look like very different. And I've been editing and doing, Premiere Pro for a couple of decades. So, far from a pro though. Far from a pro. Hey Beavis. Okay, how come it wasn't there? Oh, okay. What the oh shit. Okay, what the you want to be like that? You want to be underworld oh shoot. Okay, well maybe it's not there. 114, January 14th project. Okay, that was 14th. Wow. Okay. Oh shoot, I thought I downloaded. Okay, so I'm gonna play it right from share screen. I got it. Okay. Oh geez, sorry. I thought I downloaded the video and did what's called a live mix. There we go. There she be. And so basically it is the where we did actually I'm not going to take that off. That's okay. So so is it up? There we go. Share. Oh man, I know it shouldn't be this complicated, but the fact is, it is. It is. Okay, so it is. Add the stage. There we go. All right. So, oh boy, I need a vacation. There we go. So basically, so this is about the idea that if you've seen Prometheus, if you've seen the movie Prometheus, which I thought I liked it more than a lot of people seem to dislike it. There are story problems with Prometheus. There's a lot of story problems with Prometheus. But it's a pretty good movie in trying to letting your mental juices kind of flow with the idea that what if the human race was engineered? These are engineers. This was the same idea. So I thought, well, what if I kind of do not what Prometheus is doing, but something that's a little bit more tempered with engineers that are more in line with creating intelligence that is allowed to grow whatever the way it wants to, right? I think if you are literally, like we like to grow plants and trees and everything like that, if you are such a highly advanced civilization and you grow intelligent life, that you would want to see how that intelligent life grows. And that's kind of the basis for what I did this on. Not necessarily that I believe it, it's more kind of storytelling. You can believe what you want. This is all AI. These half chimps, half man. That's AI. That's not AI. That's CGI. That's AI. That's AI. So I developed these characters in AI, and so that these characters of this race are consistent throughout the whole video. And I was able to do that. And basically they're BioLife engineers. So basically I put @BioLife engineer in every frame that I create. And it brings up this, you have a front image, back image, side image, and a close-up image of these aliens. And they're basically tall. They're like 8 feet tall. And if they were DNA engineers, they would probably be incredibly healthy. So they have lots of muscles, very ripped, very aware. Some have pointy ears, some don't. Some have more markings and some less. Basically, they will be as distinct just as we are. Some of us have tattoos, some of us don't, yada, yada, yada. So it's the same idea. So I allowed AI, I wanted AI to create similar beings, but ones that were distinct. And you can tell which ones are distinct.
As a species, we like to believe that we are the result of biological chance.
AI?
That humans emerged on their own through natural selection.
It's pretty amazing. That looks...
Slowly, blindly, and without intent. It's a belief that offers comfort.
AI?
But there's another possibility.
I mean, this is the image of where we shot out and have that BioLife engineer standing on top was so hard to do. It was so hard to do. It was frustrating. I spent a lot of money trying to get that image or that, that shot.
What if the human story did not begin with evolution alone, but with intentional design?
And even this spaceship. So I got this idea of a spaceship, and I wanted this blue kind of streaky lights to be sort of foundational from this. It's almost alien. I just noticed it's kind of alien-like, isn't it? Like the aliens. I didn't even notice that. It actually is, right? But I wanted the story to be told in a sequential order that makes sense. But I wanted to introduce the engineers before they arrived, which is why I introduced them in the very beginning, and then also with the big engineer guy standing watching the humans with the woolly mammoth. And now they're coming to Earth. You see the blue lights up. It's hard.
Not by a divine god or some kind of higher 10th dimensional being, but by something far more familiar.
I didn't want any sort of, in the beginning sequence, that was AI as well. God was it looked very real, lifelike. But I wanted this one to be more conceptual, because the literal often paints a image of storytelling that you have to use your imagination. You want parts of the imagination to be triggered. And in movies and things like that, it's the visual arts, right? And now here we actually introduce the engineers.
A highly advanced race of biological engineers. Advanced intelligence, by its very nature, builds tools. We see this in our own species. We reshape environments. We alter genetic outcomes. Humanity already possesses the ability to engineer life. We already possess the power to alter and rewrite DNA. Molecular scissors capable of cutting, removing, and rewriting genetic code.
So a lot of this stuff, you're trying to get camera angles, and you're trying to get the camera to move. So if you're talking, you'd be talking to the camera guy. You say, look, I want a close-up shot as they come in. I want a close-up shot of the hand. Like, this is it's hard to do. But it looks like this is an actor.
The power to modify living organisms, including ourselves. When intelligence...
When I see some of these, this AI stuff that was developing with these new models, I was like, holy, that literally looks, if I did this video for about $70. If I had to shoot this with film, camera crew, everything, it'd be $1 million. Easily $1 million. Easily.
Reaches this level,
Easily
it no longer waits for nature to adapt.
Look at the detail. So basically, I wanted a large engineer. I wanted human beings in a kind of like a capsule form where they're basically engineering them. They're creating them. And it comes out to the point of being so real.
It engineers biology on demand.
And I literally said, have the engineer go to...
Human DNA is ancient, yet strangely efficient.
To one of the cylinders and
it
touch it
contains errors,
with an electrical
but also
kind of
shortcuts, as if it were not the result of pure trial and error.
Fingers. I didn't
Perhaps even modified and refined, as if something intervened, not to create perfection, but to guide AI. Biology in a direction.
Is a different makeup, a different,
Our genome contains dormant switches, unused instructions, capabilities that never fully activate. Why would evolution write genetic code it never intends to run?
And that's an interesting thing, because there are stuff within our genetic code that is muted. It doesn't come to the surface. It's interesting. And so with this next image, I wanted an image so that the spaceship comes up, kind of storytelling. If the spaceship comes in, you got the image, and you've got the guy on the right is the commander. I wanted him to look different. And then the guy on the left is basically, I don't want to say one of the grunts, but one of the, he's obviously a navigator, some kind of a nav. But the guy on the right, he's the commander.
Our DNA was never meant to operate outside of its native environment. Throughout history, humans have imagined being
different complexion and everything. I am surprised at what AI is doing. How quickly I can get it done, even with today's video Star Trek.
Beings descending from the sky.
Amazing. This is
teachers,
AI.
watchers, or what some would even describe as...
Now with this little segment, I want it, because we're storytelling. The main guy, commander leaves and they're coming to the surface. And this is a primitive, and I needed an emotional reaction, and I wanted it to be negative. I wanted the emotional reaction to be negative of this spaceship, as if this primate has had some sort of possibly interaction or something.
Is divine. But what if they were not gods at all? What if they were engineers? Not creators in a mystical sense.
And this is a different engineer inside with different cylinders.
But architects of life.
I'm kind of enjoying myself.
Seeding intelligence where conditions allowed
guy.
it.
And I wanted the technology to be driven from the eye. I don't know if you saw that. If you look at his eye, he is actually communicating with the computer screen with his fingers and also his eye. You see the human thing he's developing. This was actually some pretty sophisticated prompts.
Conditions allowed it.
But it looks real.
Imperfect creations imbued with extraordinary potential. Beings who understand biology in every conceivable way. Who can design, combine, and deploy life.
This I threw in because I just thought it was... You can see the human face a little bit, and this sort of entirely different... It was based off of an image, and I brought the image to life. And I thought it was so compelling in terms of what other life forms might look like and the interaction with a pseudo-humanoid.
Life as deliberately as we design machines.
Here he's sleeping.
If such beings exist, they wouldn't sculpt statues. Their art would be biological. Even entire civilizations, comprising entire ecosystems. Their intent? Not to rule over or assert themselves as gods over their creation.
This was something where I first take was so real, it blew me away. It was the idea that on the right-hand side, you have a human being, and then on the left-hand side, you might have a different form of intelligent life that these biolife engineers might have created. It's the comparison that intelligent life is not going to look the same, right? Across all planets, all exoplanets, but beautiful nonetheless.
But rather, revel in the artistic beauty of newborn intelligence, in a manufactured, intentional species, along with their capacity for destruction and even self-sabotage. The engineers would seed a new biologically vibrant...
And so this was, there's a little, I wanted to have a subplot with wildlife, that these, first off, that these biolife engineers were bad motherfuckers, right? They're not scared of a giant bear. They're not scared of a 1,400-pound grizzly bear, because they themselves are 8 feet tall and they probably weigh 500 pounds. But so I wanted this interaction, this aggressiveness, this animosity, and it ends in a way, it's a little tiny story within a story.
Vibrant world and leave, observe, study, and wait. Perhaps this is in itself a form of evolution, not natural, but deliberate. Testing different biological designs, refining intelligence, searching for something that is a version better than the one before.
The idea is at this point in time, there's no intelligent life. There's maybe some subspecies of primates. These biolife engineers have come to Earth, and they're going to create intelligent life that will evolve along with the rest of the planet. The idea is you don't just create a boom that's human. No, it's going to be intelligent life, and it's going to evolve with the rest of the biology of the planet.
Archaeological evidence shows humanity appearing suddenly in the fossil record. Not from nothing, but faster than expected.
And we might say that this is maybe what's existing on Earth when the biolife engineers, or maybe that maybe a little bit more advanced, but this
sharp rise in cognition,
the
language, tools, mathematics, and most importantly, self-awareness.
And they arrive
as if a threshold had been crossed or installed. So, why create a species
How do you say that doesn't look fucking real? When I put these prompts in and the commands, and look, I've been doing prompts for a long time, so I'm not bad with the prompts and the direction, right? The direction
like us?
that looks real.
Perhaps
That looks
biology
real.
itself is their art, a living canvas. Each iteration of life more complex than the last.
And again, we're back to the bear sequence. The idea is that the bear is aggressive, but the BioLife engineer isn't.
A thinking mind capable of asking questions, finding answers, and pushing beyond its environment. A civilization that would one day look...
And to me, this is the favorite. I know I'm jumping in a lot. This is my favorite sequence is the idea of mother and child. And when these BioLife engineers come and check, or they come and take a look, the fear. And how do you get this fear to turn into, maybe I shouldn't be scared of these giant beings that are visiting us?
Look outward and wonder if it was alone. Perhaps humanity was never meant to be the final product, but the beginning of something new. Not to be obedient to serve a higher power, but to emerge, a symphony of life that plays out for better or for worse. An unscripted performance of biological life. Intentionally designed DNA that plays out across millennia.
And it's that feeling that sometimes we know what aggression is that comes to us, but then as human beings, as intelligent beings, as sentient beings and emotional beings, we understand when maybe we don't need to fear something, that at first we feared it. And that was that whole sequence.
To see what happens when intelligence is given freedom
hard to do.
without
It was hard to do.
instructions. And if this is true, if humanity was seeded by engineers who designed the very foundations of biological life itself, then the most important moment in human history is not buried somewhere in our past. It lies ahead of us. It may be the moment we realize that we are more complex, more intentional than we ever imagined. That our DNA was created with deliberate intent.
And this is the payoff. This is the payoff with the bear. You got the uplifting music, hopeful tone.
To be in harmony with the abundance of life on this planet, engineered not just to survive, but to belong. Earth has existed for billions of years, long before human DNA ever appeared. A biological canvas that was developed and prepared by the natural forces of this planet. A biological system waiting for an intelligent species. These engineers do not build inanimate monuments. They build entire genetic systems, and systems are meant to evolve until they no longer resemble their
And this is a bit of a payoff with the female and the baby.
makers. Or until that final day,
He
those
comes
that
back
the
and-
engineers created end up destroying themselves.
She's not really scared anymore.
If these beings are truly the
That little-
architects of humanity, their
little
final
smile at the
act
end,
was
that was
not
kinda
control, but rather restraint. They chose to let us decide what the future of humanity will be.
So that is the video. That I really, I love as a screenwriter. I love story, right? I love now. It's the first time that I can really build story in a way that's not generic, right? You can really create, and it's a lot of the things that I've been the last 4 or 5 videos since I changed the name to Dimension Zero, and YouTube is now treating me like a brand new channel. Thanks for the 30 views, you freaking pompous ass YouTube. It's my best work. It's my best videos ever. Easily. I've seen crap videos get 100 times. Serenity Now. You still watch it on Pluto. Mythbusters is awesome. Yes, that was pre. Oh yeah. I loved it. Great film, Prometheus. Right? It sparked a lot of ideas. Panspermia is interesting. And you know what? I don't know if you guys know Melody Sheep. Melody Sheep. He's got a lot of followers. Every 6 to 7 months he releases a video. He released a video today about panspermia. 30-minute video. I don't know why it takes him 6 or 7 months to create something, but Melody Sheep has a new video out today. Heavy bombardment period post. Well, my video was post. That was very early on, right? Heavy bombardment, late Cretaceous period. I guess from my engineer's perspective, it was probably around a million years ago, a million-ish years ago that the quote-unquote the engineers, the BioLife engineers came-ish. It's tempting for some budding philosophers to combine the beginning of life with evolutionary process. Well, when it comes to when you want to tell an interesting story, it's not something I particularly believe that anything was engineered, but we can engineer life, right? We can engineer life. We can change it. We can create man, bear, pig. To use. We can if we want. We can do that. Yep, I see it's a great thing to pull it off in storytelling where the ideas are suggested and the viewer can construct it themselves to the greater degree. That way better than their story. Yeah, it's a way of science fact is interesting. Science fiction, right? Star Wars, right? Star Trek, Dune. Science fiction is what gets the mind going. Not that science fact doesn't. It does as well. For sure it does. Thank you, Cool Cat. There's lots of room for improvement, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Junk DNA that's turned off is the majority of what our DNA is made of. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in our DNA that is not turned on. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's very similar to Engineers and Prometheus. Well, that is now. Ridley Scott wasn't obviously the first one to develop that idea that we're engineered. His portrayal of engineers was very interesting. I didn't think the engineers would be angry towards the human race. So the engineers that I created, I figured that, they would be muscular, they'd be ripped, they would have absolute perfect bodies because they can control their own DNA. And they've had generation upon generation to control their own DNA. They would literally look over too healthy, right? Too healthy. That's what they would be constructed. They're very tall, they're very muscular. And the idea that they can, let's say, because they're so big on Earth that they can move so easily would suggest that their bones are stronger and lighter so that they can effectively work in different environments as larger entities wherever they are. It went all Avatar. I never thought about that. Avatar 2 and 3 were cringe. They made the blue people act like Native American. Well, yes. It's one of my problems I have with Avatar. The humans, there's very few humans that are as bad as James Cameron would have humans be. He made humans, and it's part of the reason why I think people are turning off. The blue people are nice and the humans are assholes. It's a bad story point. And I'm surprised he doesn't notice it. I'm surprised. They should still be worried about a grizzly because those things are absolute units with killer claws. Well, exactly. And that was the idea why I used a grizzly, was because you have these big humanoid engineers And the fact that they don't even budge or move when these giant bears, and mind you, these BioLife engineers are probably 500 pounds, right? They're 8 feet tall, so they're probably 500 pounds of solid muscle. The fact that they're not scared implies you don't need to see strength, you don't need to see power literally. We want to see the fact that they weren't scared of these bears when they got aggressive is figurative power, right? It shows power figuratively. And that's powerful in storytelling. It's like Gandalf. We didn't need to see Gandalf's power outright. We just knew he was powerful. We knew he was uber powerful. We don't and to see his full power would be a slight payoff, but it'd be a downgrade. Alien franchise with the smartest sci-fi franchise ever. First 2 movies for sure. Then I would agree 100%. The first 2 movies were freaking awesome. It's hard after that. It's a subjective thing, very subjective after that. Fanny, I heard that the Eagles had a locker room incident where at least 8 players were... Fuck you. 8 players were given jock itch from playing with each other. Not too much. It could be true. I don't know. I don't know. It's science. Fanny, I don't know that. I have no insider information. Yes, it could be true. Jeez. Being able to manipulate DNA, they could look and have any physiology they want. Yeah, and the idea is that they would want to be, their bones would be uber strong, they'd be lightweight, so that they can work on low gravity and high gravity environments. There'd be this happy medium where their bone density would be very, very strong, right? Very strong. That's the key thing, the skeletal structure in going to different worlds with different gravities. If they have a light bone structure, but it's strong, then they can still operate within light gravity. Heavier gravity, they can still operate. There's this bigger, happy, more strength, less weight. However they achieve that, I don't know. It's science fiction. The whole white people who built the modern world are a-holes, and every damn film these days is tiring. The numbers are powerful. Oh, don't talk to me about girl bosses, dude. You're gonna get me on a tangent. And DEI hires and race swap nonsense is also such a yeah. Stranger Things, the latest one, the greatest TV show in recent memory, was basically all girl bosses, right? 11, Callie, the mother, both mothers, right? The one father with the golf club, he was a dumbass, right? Oh, he wasn't fighting for his family. They needed the mother to say, I'm fighting for the family. Stupid father. Just another stupid father. 11, Holly, Max. Then you had the original 4 guys and Jonathan, who were basically sub-characters. And every girl the girls were doing everything that was important. Everything. And the one guy, Will, came out gay, who had some power. There's always a girl that's the key to everything. It's always a little girl, right? Always. So the feminists have they won the short-term battle. Little boys have nothing to look forward to, even though that, utterly boring device on telly and in cinemas. Yep. The story in Avatar was the aliens had carbon fiber in their bones. Exactly. And that's much lighter gravity, right? So you need stronger bone structure, and it's nothing new. I mean, this is anyone who has basic understanding of physics and gravity and things like that would understand the physiology and the DNA makeup of what a body, even the dinosaurs, right? If you take a look at the dinosaurs, the kind of bones that they had to have a different structure to be able to carry that kind of weight. The Argentinosaurus, which was the biggest dinosaur ever found, was absolutely massive, right? Massive. Stranger Things was destroyed recently with some unnecessary I like boys. Of course it was. Dude, episode 7. I wasn't homophobic before. Now I'm joking, obviously, but damn, it's being beaten into me. Yeah, I'm being posted. Yeah. It is. That is true. That is a matter of fact. It's and as a screenwriter, look, I've won hundreds of awards in film festivals around the world. None of anything that I write is woke. None of it. And there are a lot of woke film festivals where my scripts did not do very well. But in some of the largest film festivals in the world, from Berlin to New York to Toronto to Sweden and Greece, all around the world, Singapore. There's a big film festival in Singapore that I think I won. One of my scripts won best horror. Out of like 800 scripts, it won the best horror, The Sicken. So it's I know what you're saying. I hear you. I actually have another channel called Poprageous, which on Saturday I'm restarting back on Saturday nights. I do an hour and a half of. I got to put some time back into that channel as well because movies, TV shows, screenwriting, storytelling. I mean, I was an English major. I mean, that's as well as science. That really is my thing. So, but anyway, that ends our main block. We're gonna leave it there for tonight. Chuck, everyone, thank you very much for popping in. It's been a pleasure. We are back tomorrow night. Cool Cat. I love Poprageous. Yeah, Poprageous. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Poprageous, yeah. Poprageous TV, I think, is the @ but Poprageous is the I've done some things there, but it's I gotta fire that channel back up a little bit more. So Cool Cat, always a pleasure out there in Salisbury, England. Far away. Say hello to Beard Meets Food if you see him. So thank you very much. You have yourselves a great evening. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow night on Dimension Zero.
Okay, children, let's take our seats.
Yeah, baby. Do it